So, if you're one of the millions of Tesla owners out there, you know you didn't just buy a car. You bought into a promise, right? The promise of an asset that could one day actually earn money for you. But, under that exciting vision, there's this growing anxiety about whether the tech that's sitting in your garage today can actually deliver on the promises of tomorrow. So let's really dig into that tension, that pull between the hardware you have and the hope for what's to come. And this is the real question, isn't it? I mean, it all just boils down to this one critical point, and it has huge financial implications for every single owner. Will the car in your driveway actually fulfill that robotaxi promise, or is it going to get left behind by the next wave of technology? And look, you are definitely not alone in asking this. We're talking about over 3 million owners, and pretty much all of them are wondering the same thing. That number, it represents a massive community. And for every single one of those people, their investment is directly tied to the answer. It's this huge shared uncertainty on a global scale. Okay, let's just quickly recap that promise because it's truly revolutionary. The vision is a future where your car achieves completely unsupervised autonomy. I mean, it drops you off at work, and then instead of just sitting in a parking lot all day, it joins a fleet, earning you money as a fully autonomous taxi. It's a really powerful and super compelling idea. But there is a potential roadblock to that future, and it's built right into the car itself. There's a pretty significant technological gap between the hardware in current Teslas and what's being planned for the very near future. This hardware gap, it's at the very heart of this entire debate. Now, to really understand this gap, we need to talk about one key metric, TOPS. That stands for tera operations per second. Honestly, the easiest way to think about TOPS is to think of it as AI horsepower. It's the raw processing muscle of the car's AI brain. It determines how fast and how effectively it can process millions of data points from its cameras to make a split-second decision. And wow, right here, this is where you can really see the scale of the challenge. Today's hardware force systems, or HW4, they deliver somewhere between 300 and 500 TOPS. But the planned AI5 chip, which is projected for 2027, is targeting 2,000 to 2,500 TOPS. That is a potential 5 to 8 times leap in raw computing power in just a few years. It's staggering. So the crucial question this massive gap raises is pretty simple. Is the brain in the cars on the road right now powerful enough for the incredible complexity of true self-driving? And we're not just talking about driver assist here. We're talking about the car making every single decision safely and reliably with absolutely zero human oversight. But hold on, this isn't the end of the story. While that hardware gap looks really intimidating, Tesla might have an ace up its sleeve, a software solution that could act as a lifeline for every current owner. And this is where hope starts to push back against those raw hardware specs. And that lifeline is this fascinating technique called model distillation. In really simple terms, it's a way of making AI models smarter, not bigger. It's a process for taking a huge, incredibly complex AI and basically compressing its intelligence so it can run effectively on less powerful hardware, like the computer that's already in your car. This whole teacher-student analogy really helps explain it. So first, you see step one, Tesla trains this massive teacher AI on its supercomputers with just immense amounts of data. Then a smaller student AI gets built to run on their car's existing hardware. And finally, the teacher distills its knowledge, basically training the student to be super efficient and get similar results but with much less processing power. In theory, it's a really elegant solution. And the success of this technique? Well, it has immediate real-world consequences. There's a really strong argument that the very idea of model distillation, just the hope that software can bridge this hardware gap, is what's helping to keep the resale value of current Teslas from falling. It connects this high-level tech stuff directly to your wallet. So, this brings us to the core conflict, right? You've got these two powerful competing forces, the physical limitations of the hardware on one side and the theoretical potential of the software on the other. So where does that leave an owner who's caught right in the middle of this whole technological debate? Ultimately, it really comes down to these two competing futures. On one hand, you've got the hope that model distillation is so effective that the hardware horsepower just becomes less important. In this future, your car's brain can still learn what it needs to become a robotaxi. But then, on the other hand, there's the argument that, for something as critical as unsupervised driving, where safety is everything, there's just no substitute for raw power. In this view, that massive leap to AI5 isn't a luxury, it's the absolute minimum requirement. Which leaves us with the final question every owner has to consider.
Do you believe software innovation is going to pave the way, making your car a future-proof asset? Or is that hardware gap just too wide to overcome, turning your vehicle into a ticking clock? The answer, whatever it ends up being, is going to define the future for millions of owners. Thanks for tuning in.